So, hey, John, welcome to the podcast.
Hey Lex, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, hi, today we're on OBIZ. We're talking with John Derman Harris, a product designer at Amorali, a German company that focus on sex wellness in, I guess, the European market. Yeah,
Yep,
cool.
focused on German-speaking Europe.
Very cool. So, how did you end up in Amorali? Like, what's your background and what guided you to Amorali as a company?
I actually had my first internship with a sex toy company in San Francisco while I was in university. And so when I finally moved to Germany after university, sex tech was already on my radar. And when I found that they had an own brand department that made their own products, it felt like a really good fit to come back into the sex tech space.
Yeah, yeah. I
Mhm.
mean, so from a product standpoint, what are like the key challenges to designing sex toys?
Well, you're working in a very sensitive space. When you talk to your users, you have to be extra careful that you're being sensitive to how they see things and what they want to share. But in terms of the products themselves, it's really kind of candy land to be in this space at the moment. Particularly at a company like at Morley, because we have so many own brands that when we come up with a new product, it's quite easy to fit into the matrix where that product is best fit. And so we're not quite constrained by a single brand image. We've got so many that we can work with.
Sure. And you guys recently just launched constellations, yeah? So could you explain to our audience what constellations, I guess, are and how the vision started and was realized?
Yeah. Um, Usually when we come up with a new product concept, it fits somewhere within our matrix of own brands. But sometimes we come up with really crazy new concepts and it doesn't seem to fit anywhere else. And
Mm.
for this project, we came up with a product that was meant to have to enable a face-to-face sexy experience between two people with two penises. And a product like this really didn't fit in any of the other brands, and it was so compelling that it felt like it needed its own story around it. And so we came up with a concept for a brand called Constellations
Yeah.
that centers queer sex and the people that have it. So we've made 5 different products that are designed for queer people. It's a completely gender neutral brand of toys. We put a lot of heart and soul into making these cheeky queer asteroids come to life.
Yeah. So like what were some of the key barriers, I guess, to or barriers is the wrong word, more like roadblocks. Like what kind of impediments did you have to overcome to bring this thing to life?
I think product designers should acknowledge that they carry their own point of view when they're designing things. So it's really important to acknowledge your bias and really get to know the people that you're making things for. Um, and when you're a gay man designing sex toys for lesbians, it's really important to acknowledge how little of an idea you've got. But designing something for someone else shouldn't be done by democracy. You know, you need to pick one person and make the toy perfect for her and her partner. And so the toy won't be a one size fits all, and that's fine. You know, some people are going to love these products, some people are going to hate them, and there's just that's much more satisfying to me than doing 5 out of 5s across the board.
Yeah, that's real because it actually has a focus. You know, you're like really trying to solve a need and solve a problem, and you're designing for that. So I think that's fantastic. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. I've been speaking to a lot of product people recently, and I think it's fascinating that they're able to capture someone's needs. So I guess uh, granularly, maybe wrong word choice, but whatever. So specifically, right? Um, I guess um, from your perspective, what is your favorite product? Like in terms of like, what do you think really satisfies the needs for male on, I guess there's men's sex together. That was really
Mhm.
poorly worded, but you get what I mean.
I get what you're saying. So two of the products are designed for face-to-face, a sexy moment face-to-face for people, for couples with two penises and couples with two vulvas. And so the one that we designed for
I love that you have that
vulva
just like
couples,
on your desk.
my desk is covered in sex toys and plants,
The
and a lot of colored
way it
pencils.
should be. The way it should be.
But this one, this is designed for double clitoral stimulation in the middle, and then it's designed to be held in place and to stimulate the vulva with each arm. So
Very cool.
I think this is my favorite. And when we were prototyping this, you know, one of the insights that came back, one of the pieces of feedback was that these arms were difficult to insert. And so it was important to our testers that this product was soft but really firm. And so to achieve that, we actually filled both arms with a hollow plastic piece. So that while this piece is bendy, this is extremely firm.
Very cool.
You know, and I think an invisible but important detail like that hopefully makes the product a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the attention to detail. So for any kind of like product designer looking to enter the sex tech space, I guess what are one or two pieces of advice you would give them from your experience?
Number one would be surround yourself with femmes. Make sure that your leaders are women, make sure that your teammates are identified as female. You know, I think the power of femmes around you is really important, and they'll keep you on the right track. I've watched a lot of men in sex tech make misogynistic products that should not be out there in the world. So keep women in your orbit, or better yet, be led by them. And then the second, I would say, remember that a user group is not a monolith. And while in some ways queer people all have something in common, they really mostly don't. And you can't treat queer people or any other group like a single monolith. You can make products that really do solve a need that they have, but don't pretend that you're representing all queer people with anything.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I think people don't realize just how male-led the sex tech industry actually is. My first time encountering that was actually at a trade show in Hong Kong, and it was just like a sea of men, like predominantly white guys. And I was shocked by it because the world is more diverse, and sexuality is something that varies from person to person, let alone group to group. And given the stigmas and the kind of, you know, biological, physical, emotional needs that people have, you know, just so important to kind of have someone who is sensitive to the different nuances that people have from using a sex product. So I think that's very interesting advice.
And it makes me proud to be in an industry right now that is led by women-led groups and organizations. You know, I think it's really a testament to these amazing people who've began and led companies like Amora Lee and Crave and Dame and Unbound. You know, I really admire this suite of femtech pioneers.
Awesome. So thank you so much. If people want to find Amora Lee online, where can they go?
Amoralee.de is our German site, and amoralee.de/pride has the Constellations products front and center.
Very cool. If people want to find you?
My LinkedIn, John Derman Harris.
Thank you so much. It's been spectacular.
Yeah, thanks, Lex.